What trickery is this? Mal'Ganis! I don't know how you survived, but I
Calm
will...
yourself, Prince Arthas. I am Tychondrius. Like Mal'Ganis, I am a Dreadlord. But I am not your enemy. In truth, I've come to congratulate you.
Congratulate me?
By killing your own father and delivering this land to the Scourge, you have passed your first test. The Lich King is pleased with your enthusiasm.
Yes. I've damned everyone and everything I've ever loved in his name. And I still feel no remorse, no shame, no pity.
The rune blade that you carry was forged by the Lich King and empowered to steal souls. Yours was the first one it claimed.
Then I'll make do without one. What is the Lich King's will?
The cult of the damned must be rallied once again. Many of the acolytes have been in hiding amongst the populace. Once you've rallied them, I will give you further instructions.
Speak, fool. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. What is it now?
Greetings, great lord. Our master, Kel'Thuzad, told us that you would come.
Kel'Thuzad? How could he have known it?
Be wary. If the townsfolk see your undead minions, they'll call the local guards to stop you.
Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Finally.
The undead! Sound the alarm! Mercy, my
Finally.
lord.
At last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers.
Mercy, my lord.
Finally.
Seek out the local graveyards. Those buried there will serve you well. I shall be your eyes. I go unseen.
Finally. At
I
last.
live only to serve.
Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. At last.
The undead!
Frostmourne
Sound
hungers.
the alarm! The undead have
This is
returned.
more like it. Frostmourne hungers.
I live
This
only
is
to
more
serve.
like it. At last.
Murder your own father!
Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it.
Mercy, my lord.
Frostmourne hungers. This is more
stand
like
ready.
it. Finally. No one orders me around. At last. Frostmourne hungers.
What needs revealing? I'll look into it. Let's see. I'll look into it. Let's see.
Our forces are under attack.
Must be. My sight is yours. I go unseen. I'll look into it. Let's see. All shall be revealed. I'll look into it. All shall be revealed. Let's see. I go unseen. I'll look into it. Let's see. I go unseen. All shall be revealed. Let's see. All shall be revealed. I go unseen.
Speak, fool. At last. This is more like it. At last. This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Finally. At last. Frostmourne hungers. At last. This is more like it. At last. Frostmourne hungers.
Mercy, my
Finally.
lord.
The damned
At
stand
last. Frostmourne hungers.
The undead.
At
Sound
last.
the alarm.
Frostmourne hungers. At last.
Help. The undead have
Frostmourne
returned.
Damned
hungers.
stand ready.
At last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. At
I'm
last.
in luck. These graves were dug recently.
Arise in the name of the Lich King. Hungers. At last. This is more like it. Now, Frostmourne. At last. Finally. Tread lightly. What is it now? Tread lightly. No one orders me around. At last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like
only
it.
to serve.
Frostmourne hungers.
Say your prayer.
Finally.
Bandits,
This
run.
is more like it. Finally.
I live
Frostmourne
only to
hungers.
serve, great lord.
Finally. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Finally. At last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. At last. This is more like it. At last. This is more like it. At last. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Frostmourne hungers.
The dead
at
have risen
last.
again.
Stand ready.
Frostmourne
Guards.
hungers. At last. This is
The
more
dead
like
have
it.
risen again.
Finally.
Guards.
At last. Frostmourne
I bow
hungers.
to your will.
At last.
Mercy, my lord.
Frostmourne hungers.
The damned stand ready.
At last. This is more
Kill them all!
At last. Finally.
My life for Nezul.
At last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. At last.
The damned stand ready.
Frostmourne
You betrayed us all.
Mercy,
This is
my
more
lord.
like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like
My
it.
life for Nezul.
At last. This is more like it. At last. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. At last. Finally. This is more
I
like it.
live only to
Frostmourne
serve.
hungers.
Faithless coward.
This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Finally. This is more like it.
Must be. What needs revealing? Let's see. I go unseen. All shall be revealed. I go unseen. All shall be revealed. Let's see. I go unseen. All shall be revealed. I go unseen. Let's see. I'll look into it. I go unseen. I'll look into it. My sight is yours.
Speak, fool. At last. This is more like it. At last.
Frostmourne hungers. Finally. At last. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Finally.
Mercy,
This
my
is
lord.
more like it.
The dead have risen
Finally.
again. Guards!
Frostmourne hungers.
Mercy,
At
my lord.
last. This is more like it. At last. Finally. At last. Your pain shall be legendary. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. At last.
The dead have
Mercy,
risen
my
again. Guards!
I shall
Our
be your
forces are under
eyes.
attack.
You should burn in hell. Let's see.
Tread lightly. Speak, fool. Tread lightly. What is it now?
My sight is yours. I go unseen. I'll look into it. Let's see. I'll look into it. I go unseen.
Tread lightly. This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers.
Our forces are under
At
attack.
last. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Finally. This is more like it. At last. No one orders me around. Finally. What is it now?
Must be.
No one orders me around. Tread lightly. This is more like it. At last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. At last. This is more like it. At last. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. At last. You will know endless torment. Faithless coward. Frostmourne hungers. I'll make sure you suffer. Now, Frostmourne. For the Lich King.
Must be.
No one orders me around.
I live only
at
to
last.
serve, great lord.
This is more like it. I'll make sure you suffer. Speak, fool. For the Lich King. Your pain shall be legendary. No one orders me around. Tread lightly. At last.
I live
Finally.
only to serve.
This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers.
Well done, Death Knight. The cult is nearly assembled.
Lordaeron lies in ashes. What good are these cultists to us now?
They will aid you in your next undertaking.
And what's that?
You will go to Underhall and recover the remains of the Acolyte's former master, the necromancer, Kel'Thuzad.